backpack, a plane ticket, and nearly $2 billion from 400,000 people, gone without a sound. No warning alerts, no system error, just a young CEO walking through an airport as if nothing had happened. And that was it. This wasn't a scam. It was a cold, calculated replica of the very dreams we once believed were real. You're watching Meta Crypto Insights, where financial stories hiding behind shiny tech are retold as a wake-up call. April 20th, 2021, Istanbul. A 27-year-old man steps into a black car. No security, no red flags. Slung over his shoulder is a backpack. Inside, a laptop, some documents, and a cold wallet holding nearly $2 billion in crypto. His name is Faruk Fatih Özer, CEO of Thodex, Turkey's largest crypto platform at the time. But that morning, he wasn't heading to the office. He was heading to the airport, and he vanished. Security cameras captured the moment Faruk calmly walked through the departure gate, unrushed, composed. A few hours later, Thodex disabled withdrawals. No warning, no error message, no updates, and the trust of nearly 400,000 users evaporated with one outbound flight. But the story didn't begin at the airport. It started in something much deeper: economic despair. In 2017, Turkey was drowning in financial crisis. The lira had been falling for 9 straight years. Inflation had crossed 30%. Banks were no longer a safe haven. People began to look elsewhere, toward something untraditional: crypto. Bitcoin had just crossed $7,000, and no one wanted to miss their shot at escaping a currency in free fall. In that moment, Faruk, just 23, launched CoinEx, later renamed Thodex, with only $11,000 in seed capital. No groundbreaking tech, no deep technical expertise. But Faruk understood something the market hadn't yet put into words. When people lose trust in the old system, they'll bet everything on anyone who dares to promise something better. Faruk wasn't selling coins, he was selling belief, and he knew how to package it as salvation. Billboards, TV spots, YouTube ads. All of Istanbul was drenched in Thodex slogans. Celebrities endorsed him. Ordinary citizens called him the symbol of a new Turkey. Trust didn't need tech. It just needed someone to promise you wouldn't be left behind. By early 2021, Thodex peaked. Over 700,000 users, hundreds of millions in daily volume. No one saw it as a startup anymore. It had become a tech religion, where belief was reinforced by rewards, imagery, and the collective agreement of the crowd. Faruk didn't need to explain how it worked. He just had to repeat one message enough times. You don't need to understand blockchain. You just need to get in earlier than everyone else. Thodex gave away MacBooks, iPhones, even Porsches. Top traders were celebrated. You could trade with credit cards, buy crypto at ATMs. The door was wide open, even for people without capital, as long as they had the hunger. And the more people joined, the more the belief multiplied. Everyone believed. And because everyone believed, no one wanted to stop. On April 16th, 2021, the Central Bank of Turkey announced a nationwide ban on crypto payments, effective April 30th. The market panicked. Thodex users began withdrawing funds. Suddenly, the system slowed down. Errors multiplied. Withdrawals failed. But instead of calming users, Faruk made one final move. On April 17th, Thodex launched a flash promotion. Buy Dogecoin at just 20 cents instead of 29. A 30% discount in the middle of chaos. In just 24 hours, Thodex sold over $500 million worth of Dogecoin. The total trading volume hit a record $1.7 billion, the highest in the platform's history. And that was also the last day Thodex ever operated. After the sale, withdrawals were completely frozen. The app stayed open, the interface still worked, but money? It wasn't going anywhere. Users received templated replies, system under maintenance. Inside the company, the tech and finance teams lost access. All internal systems were locked. No one picked up leadership calls. Faruk was gone, not in the office, not replying to messages, not anywhere. What was once called Turkey's top crypto exchange was now just a virtual shell, filled with balances no one could touch. And hundreds of thousands of people started to realize the scam didn't arrive as a collapse. It arrived as one last deal. On April 20th, 2021, Thodex posted a short message. The system is under maintenance. It will be back in a few days. No explanation, no time frame. No one could withdraw. The next day, Turkish national TV aired a CCTV clip. Faruk Fatih Özer, 27-year-old CEO, calmly passing through Istanbul airport, carrying nearly $2 billion and vanishing. The Thodex app was still online, the interface still lit up, balances still showed, but the accounts were now memories. And the founder? Gone. No press conference, no apology, not a single final word. Even Thodex's internal structure had been severed. The tech department was locked out. Employees couldn't reach upper management. No more CEO, no more answers. Just silence. Prolonged and heavy, like a collective sentence. Months later, Interpol issued a red notice. In summer 2022, police in Albania arrested Faruk in a coastal town. He claimed innocence, saying he was just looking for new investors. In April 2023, he was extradited to Turkey. By September 2023, he was sentenced to 11,196 years in prison. But the real sentence wasn't handed down by any court. It lived in the hearts of the hundreds of thousands who once thought, "I'm smarter than the crowd." Faruk didn't con them with tech. He just said exactly what they wanted to hear. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. And when an opportunity sounds too perfect, too beautiful to be real, that's when you should run, not stake. They didn't stake because they were dumb. They staked because their friends were staking, because influencers were staking, because the community was staking, because they were afraid of being left out of a dream everyone else seemed to be living in. They didn't feel wrong. They felt late. But the one question no one ever asked at the time was, is this a real opportunity, or just a dream that's too good to be true? In investing, what makes you lose money isn't bad information. It's a dream that sounds just right. So right, you want it to be real. And if you think this only happens in Turkey, remember FTX, BitConnect, or the 2008 housing bubble. The biggest financial collapses don't start with scams. They start with a promise that's repeated too many times and believed by too many people. The real question is, when the next opportunity comes, with a new app, a fresh promise, and someone in a suit saying all the right things, are you sure you won't believe it? Or will you end up being the latecomer in someone else's dream? If you've ever stood in front of a too-good-to-be-true opportunity, share your story in the comments. And if you know someone who needs this wake-up call, send them this video. This isn't financial advice. Every word you've heard is told from a perspective of analysis, education, and behavior, based on publicly available information. Always do your own research before making a decision. Meta Crypto Insights doesn't just tell stories. We break down the lessons that technology doesn't teach you. But life demands you learn. If you found value in what you've just heard, like the video, subscribe, and continue the journey with us.